Hi Virgo, and welcome to your reading for July 2019. My name is Melanie. This is a general reading, so of course it may or may not resonate, which is totally fine. It's for Virgo, Sun, Moon and Rising sign people. So let's just dive right into July. So I use 5 cards for a monthly spread. The first card along the back there representing the past, any kind of past energies which may be relevant this month. You have the 8 of Coins or the 8 of Pentacles. The second card along being about the month of July, the current issues and situation that dominate July. You have the Devil card. The third card along representing any possible obstacles this month. You have the Queen of Coins, otherwise known as the Queen of Pentacles. The fourth card being about possible helpful tools in July. You have the Queen of Wands, and the outcome card is the Ace of Swords card. That different card lying down there, which comes from a different deck, which I use more like oracle cards. I'll be reading specifically about that card towards the end of the reading. The one that came through for you guys representing the overall theme for the month is called Eagle, and that is about observation. So firstly, I kind of noticed with these cards, okay, that there's 2 queens, there's 2 coins, but with this particular deck I just noticed the colours. It kind of goes green, red, and then kind of blue with a bit of red. And I thought, man, does that mean anything? Does it not? I don't know. When I was thinking about the colours green and red, all I could think of really was traffic lights. Green being go, red being stop. So I don't know if this month or it's there's something going on in your life generally that is a bit stop, start. Anyway, that's just kind of what sprang to mind. So anyway, moving on, starting with the first card there representing the past and any kind of past energy that may be showing up this month. You have the 8 of Coins or the 8 of Pentacles. This is a card of work, of sort of apprenticeship, of toiling away at something, kind of in the background of ambition or lack of kind of thing, but generally is about, working on something, being skilled at something, developing a craft around something, mastering techniques to get somewhere, to move up a level, it's about, as a result of hard work, there's benefits, there's gains. It's about applying yourself, being very consistent, being very persistent, despite any kind of monotony or boredom that may come along with toiling away at something. So it looks like you've been working on something, perhaps something in a work arena or a project or an enterprise or something creative, anything. Could even be a relationship. You've been just working at it. You're kind of like, geez, like I'm not seeing any kind of outcome yet. I'm not seeing the results of my hard work. This is getting boring. It's getting monotonous. It's getting a bit tedious. I feel like I'm just stuck in the rat race in some way. However, this card is saying don't give up. It's saying this is an 8, and if we think about 1 to 10, 8 is nearly at 10 and 10 is the end. So this is saying you are working on something, to not give up, that persisting with it, that using your determination and being very consistent with what you're chipping away on is going to pay off. Even though you might be feeling a bit bogged down with kind of work and this kind of intense focus on something, there is rewards coming, even though you're feeling a bit like this is very repetitive, and I'm kind of just feeling like I'm losing focus a bit, or I'm just tired kind of thing. Even though I am mastering something, you're probably further along than you think you are, but you're just struggling a bit as you're nearing the end. So don't give up. The next card along, so we just need to keep that in mind for what may be happening this month in July for Virgos, because the next card along you guys have representing the month of July is the Devil card. Devil card is a card of addictions, really, of bondage, of feeling enslaved to something. It can be about our obsessions, our vices, like I said, about addictions, about obsessions, materialistic things. It can be about codependence. It can be about sort of unhealthy aspects of ourselves, of our lives, of our urges and compulsions that we give into, that we feel trapped by, but really we aren't, that we always have a choice to unchain ourselves from whatever is bonding us to something or to someone. This is a card of temptations, of kind of weird, strange occurrences happening, of sexuality, of materialism, sometimes of violence, of feeling in servitude, and particularly in servitude to kind of base animal instincts. It's a bit of a card of can be about a warning kind of thing, of not sliding into that, of getting caught up in some sort of seduction of something. So the way I'm kind of interpreting that is that, are you feeling enslaved or bonded to whatever it is that you've been working on in the background? Are you a bit top heavy in terms of all work and no play, and almost addicted to work or addicted to something or someone that is causing problems? And this card is saying potentially it could cause some pretty big problems this month unless you change something, unless you see that you have choice and freedom in this. But like, it's interesting. It's like, okay, what is happening in your head or in your kind of heart that is getting very slippery? Are you deceiving yourself around something, or is somebody deceiving you? I do firmly believe that we know that. Even if we're in intense denial, we know on some level that some kind of slippery bullshit is going on, and there's some sort of deception. Whether that is to keep us ourselves stuck and addicted to something, or someone is keeping us addicted to them or to something. It's always up to us how we change that, how we, it's that whole, you can lead a horse to water but you can't make it drink unless the horse goes, look at that, there's some water, I'm thirsty, I'm going to drink the water, kind of thing. But you can't force that. So be wary, be careful this month of some sort of bondage of some sort, of being very tied to something in a very unhealthy way. This is not the way to go about things. It is a way to learn about ourselves and to sort of, really this card is saying, are you all in your shadow side right now, and totally ignoring and wiping out the good side of us? So we have, this devilish side of us, and we have that angelic side of us, and ideally we'd be balancing them up. We wouldn't be suppressing either of them. We would be conscious and kind of aware of the shadowy aspects of ourselves and of those parts of us that can be very potent and very dysfunctional, and not forgetting that often we create strategies and coping mechanisms which aren't helpful now, but possibly were helpful and necessary in the past. In that way, you need to look at yourself and kind of go, okay, what's happening? What am I allowing myself to get swept away in that I think I have no choice in, but you do? Moving on to the third card, and what may be an obstacle this month to be wary of. You have the Queen of Coins, or the Queen of Pentacles here. So another kind of Pentacles card, Pentacles being earthly, grounded, practical matters kind of thing, typically to do with work, with money, with finances, with tangible, practical things. So this Queen of Pentacles can be an actual person in your life. Could be a woman, doesn't have to be. Could be an earth sign, doesn't have to be. Earth signs being Taurus, Capricorn, Virgos. So typically the Queen of Pentacles is a woman who is quite generous. She loves luxury. She loves the finer things in life. But she's, and whilst she could be seen as being materialistic and loving sort of opulence and stuff, she's actually very generous with herself. And she can be quite grounded in reality. And you know, being the queen, she can represent a mother or someone in a motherly kind of role in your life. So whether this is a person that you actually need to be careful of, or it could be more about the energies of this card. In terms of an obstacle sense, it could be about, are you being a little too conservative about something? Are you underestimating yourself? Are you not letting yourself dream big, kind of thing? Which is interesting next to the Devil card, which I think it's not about dreams, but about fantasies and illusions. And here you have this Queen of Pentacles card going, are you actually just too kind of serious and conservative about something? This card can be about being overly attached to finances, to sex, to status, to materialistic things. Actually, yeah, I think that resonates more for me anyway. Next to this Devil card, it's like, are you just too obsessed with these kind of earthly obsessions, you know? And whether that is obsessions with money, with work, with a person, with sex and sensual kind of things, that feel like they overtake us in our desires, kind of thing, without any kind of balance, without actual attention to relationships, to emotional things, to real kinds of things. Real as in real connections, because Pentacles are sort of about real, practical, tangible things. But this is saying, are you too obsessed with this stuff? And there is a notion of obsession, I think, coming in this month with that Devil card, and obsessed with something that you've been working away on, or working with, or connected to in the past. So what may be useful this month? You have another Queen. So Queen of Wands. Again, this could be a person, a woman, an older woman, a wise woman, or it could be someone who just embodies the energy of this card. This but it could be a fire sign, a person, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. The Queen of Wands are about passion. You know, they are about creativity, matters of the soul. They're about life force and energy, you know, and adrenaline, spontaneity. The Queen of Wands likes money, kind of thing, in a similar way to the Queen of Coins, sort of, kind of thing. But she she's more than that. She's very exuberant, she's very warm. She understands economy despite you know, enjoying money and enjoying material things. She's very creative. She's quite fertile. She's in touch with her shadow self, you know, because she's about passion and creativity and stuff. And I think when we think about those elements of ourselves, when we think of passion, we can think about shadowy aspects of ourselves, our desires, you know, which can get out of control, that we can see with that Devil kind of card. But she's aware of that. She's in touch with that stuff. She acknowledges it. She's very self-aware. She's quite self-actualized. She's very social. She's very much a social butterfly. So perhaps what might be useful, she's also about travel. She's about sort of seeing ahead, seeing the bigger picture. So maybe what may be useful this month is either to tap into a person like this in your life, or to connect with other people socially, especially, or sort of widen your circle in some way to help you find creative solutions to your problems this month, or anything that is coming up with this devil kind of energy. She's very good at making a positive impression on other people. You know, she's very confident and exuberant and passionate kind of thing. She is about expressing, like I said, she is in touch with sort of shadowy, dark kind of sides of herself, and she's not afraid of that. You know, I think with that Devil card and the Queen of Pentacles card coming up there in that obstacle position, there is an intense element of fear, and not fear of the devil, but afraid of parts of ourselves, these shadowy parts that we may feel a lot of shame about. I challenge you to gently confront yourself, and I think that's what the Queen of Wands does. She knows these aspects of herself. She's not afraid to look at them. She knows that she is bigger than them, and she can sort of park them where they need to be. She can kind of bring them out when she needs them to instill some fire and some passion and some creativity and be inspired by something. She is willing to say, hey, I have these parts of myself that we can typically hide away, but she chooses to express and share that with other people. She is very real, very authentic, you know, really different to the Devil card, which I think is a card of dishonesty and deception, primarily I think to yourself. So this card is encouraging you to face these parts of yourself, because when we open the door to them, they're no longer sort of these big monsters bashing on the door. When we open the door, we typically see that actually it's a really small fluffy little kitten, you know, or it's a little cub, and it's on the other side of the door. It sounds big and huge and scary, and it's swallowing us whole. But when we open it and we go, you know what, you're here, I'm just going to welcome you in, what's the deal kind of thing, we learn to form a different relationship with that part of ourselves through acceptance, fundamentally. Oh, that was a bit of a rant. Anyway, the outcome card for the month for you guys is the Ace of Swords. So, fantastic. I'm really relieved to see this, really. So aces are about new things, the beginning of things, the birth of something, the potential, divine potential, you know, early days. Gifts from the universe, and an ace, you know, is some sort of offering coming from outside of us, shall we say. This is a card of victory, of new sort of insights, of mental clarity, new knowledge, raw power, strength of mind, having this vision and this insight that feels like it's just come from nowhere. That nowhere is the universe. This is a card of triumph, of cutting away all the old crap and the baggage that gets in the way. So looks to me that you are able to overcome whatever is holding you back this month. Something happens. You either talk to someone new, you talk to yourself differently, you look at things differently, and this changes a belief perhaps that you have about yourself, or you had about yourself. This is a card about, you know, sort of being able to think very clearly, very rationally, using this real intellect of your, you know, your own intellect, of being able to sort of stand up for yourself and come through with a new way of looking at the world, I would say, or looking at a problem is very different. You now have this different kind of insight, and this is very triumphant. You know, you have this kind of new wisdom that has come from something, and you're now prepared to believe in yourself and fight for what you believe in. So wow, what a journey and what a process for the month of July for Virgos. It sounds kind of exhausting to me, but take care of yourself and you will be able to overcome whatever it is that is kind of holding you back. Finally, I'm just going to read from this book, Dreamtime Reading Cards, which came with that deck. The Dreamtime is the Aboriginal Australian spiritual belief system. I love these cards. I love the pictures on them. They're very typical Aboriginal dot paintings, and I love the meaning behind each card. So the card that came through for you guys representing the overall theme for the month is called Eagle, and that is all about observation. Growing up, it was not uncommon to see birds of prey circling the hill, eyeing off Grandad's newly hatched chickens. So this is the author talking. The eagle is a strong bird. It has talons for gripping prey and a sharp beak which is used to rip its victims apart. Oh, that sounds like the devil. It has fantastic sight and can spot tiny prey even from great heights. The eagle often cycles above, gliding on the wind currents before swooping down to capture what it has had its eye on. The eagle encourages you to look at situations from a higher perspective. Just like the Ace of Swords card, looking at things differently, interpreting things differently, believing things differently. There's different perspective. It is hard to see all sides of a situation when you're in the middle of it, and I think that's that devil card there, and even the Eight of Coins card. And man, I'm just stuck in this. I'm working away at this. I can't see any other way, but there is. Sometimes it is helpful to stand back and view the situation from a different perspective, looking at where you have come from and where you are headed, rather than just looking at what is happening in the present moment. I kid you not, that's what it's saying, which just reminds me of the Eight of Coins card. I just think it's incredible. Where will your decisions take you, and what past decisions have you been basing your current ideals on? The eagle's strength and ability to focus in on things allows it to take charge of situations and soar above those who try to inhibit or control it. And there's that controlling element with that devil card there. This is a time when you need to rise above the situation you find yourself in, look to the past and to the future you wish to create, and just really observe what is happening around you for a while. You may find you start to see the situation very differently, and yes, you will. I think that Ace of Swords card there really confirms that. So Virgo, I wish you all the best for July. Thank you so much for watching and listening to this reading. I'm really grateful you've given it your time, your attention. You know what to do if you have enjoyed this, and I hope to see you back in August.